Myself, Ratan Kumar. I am pursuing a Bachelor of Technology from QSAT. Uh, um, I have completed one my internship in Coding Ninjas, that is well-known reputed online coding platforms where students can take the course and learn a lot of algorithms and approaches for problem solving skills. Where in my task, where I have to take the 2-hour sessions daily and debug the students' codes and resolve the doubts. And in return of that, I got the feedback from the students and rating that will finally count in my stipend. And second all, I completed one internship in web development where I have to develop one website for a company. I completed using PHP and Bootstrap. And apart from my technical skills, I have a good fundamental of data structures and algorithm in C as well as C++. I have a strong knowledge of Python as well. I am very good in web development as well using PHP as well as Node.js. So this far, actually, I have a certification in competitive programming that I completed from the Coding Ninja as well. That is the basics of competitive programming and in C++. Or like that's all about my technical part. And I am very good in the database management systems as well as operating systems. That's for in my CS levels in my college. As far as development concerns, I am a very good developer in full stack web developments. That's because I am very well known in front end development as well as a back end development. So basically, I can tell that I have a strong knowledge of a full stack development. That's all about my technical part.
Yeah, go with your subject. Please share your PPT.
So, okay, so I will share the link here. And can I share my screen?
Yeah, please share it.
Okay. Is it visible, sir?
Yes.
So apart from like what basically what I have to do in this training, basically I have to take the classes for C programming, where I have to teach the fundamentals of C programming, how the C programming is invented, basics logics of the operators, operands, and loops, while loops, condition statements, if condition, else condition, nested if else, like, and basic simple 10 or 15 basic programs like palindrome, reverse of the numbers, and there are so many basic programs that generally people do in the C programming, because that programs helps to build the logics that will be moreover used in coming problem solving approach. Like whenever you have to calculate a factorial of a numbers, then you have to know the at least fundamentals of the factorials. What is the fundamentals of the factorials and what is the basic scenarios behind the factorials, so that can be implemented for using the factorials of the numbers. So I'm going to just introductions about programming languages, whatever that is the C languages here we have to study. So this is our first slides. And basically, what is the programming languages? Why we use programming languages? Because we have several languages in our daily life, like Hindi, English, and so many state language like Bengali, Odia, Kerala, Malayalam. So, but what is that language is used to communicate with humans, but this programming language is used to communicate with our systems, machines. So that's what programming language is very most important in our daily lives, because we have to communicate with our systems. So without programming language, we cannot communicate with the systems as well. So a programming language is a formal language comprising a set of instructions that produces various kinds of outputs. That after the communications with the systems, we have to reach a certain outputs that will be shown by our systems. So different kinds of languages in our market. Basically, these are the basic languages that are used. That is C, C++, Java, JS for JavaScript, Pythons. So basically, for my as for my job, I have to teach only C programming. So like, what is the basics of C programming? Like how this programming comes in the real life pictures, and who is the inventor of this language. Basically, we are just going to take the brief introductions about background history of the C programming. Like C programming is developed by AT&T Bell Laboratories of the USA in 1972. It was designed and written by the man named Dennis Ritchie. This is the most widely used computer language, and this is the mother language of all programming languages, because every programmer must be start with the C languages, then further they will switch in any language like JS, Python, and many more languages, Java. There are so many languages, but you have to at least start with C languages, because there are no any inbuilt functionality in C languages that will that will that will not sudden implement any logic. So you have to hard code everything to understand the basic fundamentals of that logic. So but in case of other languages like Pythons and Java, there are so many several libraries are there. So you can just use that library, and your task will be completed very easily. But you cannot understand what is the logic behind that performing that task. Like in C++, there is a sort STL. So you just implemented the sort STLs, but without understanding how the sorting is performing, how the selection sorts, how the bubble sorts, how the insertion sorts is performing behind the scene, how they are performing, and how they are swapping one by one numbers after each iteration. So that's why C is the mother language of all programming languages. That is the simple facts about the C programming languages. Invented to write an operating systems called Unix. This is the Unix programming language. This is OS dependent. The language was formalized in 1988 by American National Standard Institute, ANSI. Basics about IDE. This is the integrated development environment. It is a software for building applications that combines common developer tools in a single GUI. That is, every developer write a regular piece of code in our project. Like you have to need login, logout, authentications, user profiles. So some patterns are fixed for developing a software. So that thing will integrated in IDE, already written in the code. You have to just call that functions and just implement it in IDE part. So no need to write hard code for everything. Just inbuilt sign in, sign up function, and all codes are, that is only for like I am frequently user for NetBeans. So I have to just drag and drop that icons and that balls, and that buttons and all icons coded are written in background frames. You have to just a silly code for that, and that will be that function will perform very easily in that login and logout part. So some tasks are fixed for any application systems. Like then that will be implemented, and that will be implemented very smoothly in IDE. It is already written in any IDE, and a developer just call that functions and simply use that functionalities of that. So a complete tour about C languages elements. What is the elements in the C languages? So like there are so many kinds of things. There are so many kinds like variables, loops, as I already discussed, conditional, input, output, subroutines, and functions. So one by one, I will be going to discuss about the variables, conditional loops, and all these things. Basic elements of programming. So variables are that in common mathematics we are very well known that variable and constants. The value always changes, that is variable. The value which value is fixed, that is constant. So in common trends, there is A, B, C, X, Y, Z is well known variable, and 10, 15, 15, 100,000, that are the constant.
Yeah, please
loops
continue.
like so apart from the conclusion, as I discussed so far, we have a basic programming knowledge as a C program. We have a fundamentals of the programming, that is C. That is the must necessary to learn any programming. Any programmer at first then we will go further for any languages, and that is the fundamentals of the C programming languages, that is variable, constant, loop, if else. If we have to perform the repeated task, then we have to go with the loop. If we perform some conditional task, then we have to go with the if else conditions. If we have performed with some kind of calculations, that will be calculated in kind of variables, that will be that variable will stored in any other variable, and that variable will again printing, or accordingly our manipulation will be done in our programming languages. So in conclusion, I can tell, like, C is the very frequently used languages, programming language. As we come to the next slide, then it will be a better understandings of all these basic components of C programming languages.